Ozzy Osbourne once said, "There's really no plausible medical reason why I should still be alive. Maybe my DNA could say why." Ozzy was onto something. Take a look. DNA experts say Ozzy Osbourne is genetically programmed to survive a life of hard partying. Author Bill Sullivan writes that Osbourne is a genetic mutant predisposed to drug and alcohol addiction, allowing him to consume them in massive quantities. He says addiction has more to do with our DNA than our moral fiber. In his new book, Sullivan writes there's a gene variant that helps determine the food you like and even if you'll be a murderer. He says our emotions are biological and our genes program brain chemicals to cause us to feel our feelings. This leaves us to wonder, do our genes determine more about our destiny than we ever knew? Microbiology professor and author of Pleased to Meet Me, Genes, Germs, and the Curious Forces That Make Us Who We Are. Please welcome Bill Sullivan to the show. And Bill, right off the bat, so that everyone gets engaged, let's start with Ozzy Osbourne. You call him a genetic mutant.
That is right, and that is not meant to be offensive in any way. We're all mutants in some sense. Ozzy Osbourne is a remarkable specimen because he has survived an incredible amount of abuse that is related to drugs and alcohol. So what is it about his genome, the sequence of his genes, that made him resilient and come out of this relatively unscathed and still rocking at 70 years old? It turns out that he has genes that make him six times more likely to become addicted to alcohol and drugs than the average person. And there are several reasons for this that have been revealed in the genetic sequence. The first of which is a very curious, never-before-seen mutation near an enzyme that resides in the liver and detoxifies alcohol. So scientists believe that this genetic variation allows Ozzy's liver to process alcohol much more rapidly than the average person.
How do those genes then play a role in addiction and abuse, other than just the ability to metabolize it really well?
Good question. There's another significant element of this. Scientists, since the sequencing of Ozzy's genome, have sequenced many other people who struggle with alcohol and drugs. And one of the key things that comes out as a common denominator is that these individuals tend to have a hyperactive brain. This is due to a deficiency in a neurotransmitter that is designed to calm the brain down. It looks just like alcohol at a molecular level. So these individuals, you could say, are kind of self-medicating to quiet the storm in their brain, just so they can feel normal. But as we all know, this is a very slippery slope because it's a very addictive substance.
So for someone like Ozzy Osbourne, not only does he have the enzyme change that allows him to metabolize very quickly, does he also have this greater tendency towards addiction and self-medication?
I haven't seen the results published, so I don't know if he qualifies under that category, but it has certainly been seen in many other people who struggle with alcoholism.
And I would imagine, Bill, that that would cause them to be more predisposed to seek certain types of substances, the ones that would actually calm your brain, as opposed to the ones that would spike your brain with a lot of energy and stimulation, like cocaine.
You're absolutely right. Alcohol has a sedative effect on the brain, and that's why it's calming and sought after. People who are prone to alcoholism, this is what many don't understand who don't struggle with the problem. Turning down a drink can be just as difficult as a starving person turning down a meal.